Hey guys, it's Mr. Schultz again. Yesterday was kind of interesting, so today I'll try to publish this video right away instead of having to wait until after we have a Google Meet. A reminder, today we will need to be checking in at 8:15. So once you watch this video, make sure you're on Google Meet at 8:15, and then we'll talk about what we see. Okay. Today we're talking about the quotient rule. Quotient is talking about division, so we're talking about when we divide our bases that have exponents. So again, the same base has to be true for these rules. So the same base dealing with our exponents and division. So if I'm looking at this first one here, I've got x to the 6th divided by x to the 2nd power. Okay. When we talked about yesterday, if we expanded this thing all the way out, I would have basically 6 x's all being multiplied. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 x's all being multiplied divided by 2 x's being multiplied. Again, this is the long way. Okay? If you enjoy writing these out, go for it. Okay? Some people like to write them out, especially at the beginning, because it helps them kind of visualize what's going on. If I look at this division, I'm saying I'm just going to cancel out all the ones that I have the same. So here I'd say, well, I have one here, I have a second one here, so now I'm done. The bottom has none left. I have 4 left up above, so it's x to the 4th. Okay? Again, this works really nice if we have small exponents like 6 and 2. If I had bigger exponents like 27, 38, this would be a little bit more difficult and it would take a lot more time having to write out all those x's. Okay? So for this one, if we're going to look at what actually happened, I had a 6 and a 2. I ended up with a 4. All we're doing for this is essentially subtracting the exponents. So here if I said 6 minus 2 gets me x to the 4, that would be my correct answer. If we're looking down below, so if we use that format of saying, hey, our quotient rule is that we take our same base. So what this actually looks like is if I'd said x to the a over x to the b equals x to the a minus b. And a and b just represent any given number. Okay, that's our quotient rule. So down below, if I have, again, looking at the same bases, I'm looking at my x's. They have the same base. I have a 4 and a 3. So all I'm going to do here is take 4 minus 3. So I would have x to the 1st. If I'm looking at my y's, I have a 7 here, and again, if there's no exponent written up above, we just put a 1 up above, so I'd say 7 minus 1 gives me 6, so I'd have y to the 6th. So my solution, or my answer here, is x to the 1st, y to the 6th. Okay? Again, it is just subtraction with the same base. Okay? We'll put in 2 more now, and the last 2 here that I'm going to show you are ones that actually have numbers with them. Okay? So, got to erase this real quick. So if I had, let's say, 16, x to the 8th, y to the 5th, over 4x to the 6th, y to the 4th, and I wanted to solve this, okay? Just like when we did multiplication. So we talked about multiplication yesterday, and we multiply our numbers. The multiplication is still the same. I just multiply straight across. Everything's normal. Same thing is happening here when I'm doing division. I treat the numbers like regular numbers. So I would do 16 divided by 4 gets me 4. So my answer stays up on top. 16 divided by 4 got me 4. Okay? If the 16 was on the bottom and the 4 was on top, wherever that bigger number is, the answer is going to go there. Okay? So I've got a 4. Took care of my numbers. Again, I sometimes like to cross those things out to remind myself I've already taken care of them. So I took care of my numbers. Next, I'm looking at my x's. So I've got 8 and 6. So I would do 8 minus 6 gets me 2. So I'd have x to the 2nd. I'm done with my x's. All I have left is my y's. So here I have y to the 5th. Y to the 4th in the bottom. Subtract 5 minus 4 gets me y to the 1st. I do get questions sometimes, people saying, hey, Mr. Schultz, do I need to have this 1 here at the end? Technically, no. You don't need the 1 there. Mathematicians will leave this as just y. Again, we assume that you know there's a 1 up above. If you put a 1 there, though, for an answer, that's totally fine. That'll work. Okay. Last one I wanted to show you here before I give you kind of your warm-up before we get on to Google Meet. If I had 2 a to the 4th, b to the 2nd, over a, these are ones that sometimes you're like, well, Mr. Schultz, what happens if I can't actually divide them? Okay, so like here I had 16 divided by 4 gets me 4. Well, 2 divided by 3 gets me a decimal. We're not going to deal with decimals for these. We're going to leave them kind of in their whole number format. So if I have 2 divided by 3, I can't simplify that. So 2 over 3 would just stay 2 over 3. So our numbers are taken care of. I can't simplify them, so I leave them the same way. Okay. The next thing I have is an a. I got a to the 4th. Again, if there's nothing above it, I'm going to put a to the 1st. So 4 minus 1 gives me a to the 3rd. Just like when we dealt with our multiplication, if I ever have a variable that doesn't have a buddy or a partner, so in this case it has nothing down below, it just stays where it's at. Okay, so this one will just stay b to the 2nd. It's staying up on top. Okay. Some of you might be like thinking, Mr. Schultz, what would happen if I have a bigger number on the bottom? That is something that we're going to deal with in one of our future rules. We deal with negative exponents. So for right now, we're just going to keep it where we have positive answers coming out of this. Okay. So this would be my final solution. 2a to the 3rd, b to the 2nd over 3. Okay. For your guys' warm-up, got to erase this real quick, but for your guys' warm-up today, I want you to try one of these so that when we get on Google Meet, you can kind of talk to me or tell me, hey, this is my answer to start off with, and then we'll have our practice kind of ready to go for you guys. So the first one, or the one that I'd like you guys to try, would be, let's go 24, x to the 6th, y to the 11th, z over, let's go with 3, x to the 5th, y to the 7, and that'd be it. So what I want you to do is to simplify this using your quotient rule, okay? And then again, after you see this video, please sign in. Please sign into your Google Meet for E. Schultz, and then we'll be able to kind of discuss. See you guys in a little bit.